everyone, welcome back. My name is Abby. I live in the northwest of England and I enjoy being crafty, particularly knitting and crochet. So on Fridays I upload craft catch-ups where I talk about the crafts I've been doing during the week. It's normally during the week. This week, because it is the first one since November, I stopped doing craft catch-ups during Advent. So since this is the first one since Advent, I'm going to go through all the things I worked on during Advent, the gifts I give, and what I didn't manage to get finished in time, and how the reactions were to giving the gifts. Some of the presents that I finished, I have wrapped, obviously, and given them on Christmas. Actually, all the things I finished, I've given them at Christmas. But they're wrapped, so I filmed a video before I wrapped them, and yeah, so I'm gonna send you to Abby of the past. So I've had these finished for a few weeks now, but I'm gonna wrap them, so that's why I'm gonna film an update today. I'll put pictures in that you can see them laid out on the sofas to see what they look like in the full glory, because that is the best way to get them on camera. And show you them, but they were featured in a Vlogmas video, so you might have seen the pictures before. But these are my modern granny squares blankets. So that there's the centre. I've got it folded in half and half again, so just to fit it on a bit easier so you can see it. This is James Zebra MC 81, and the other one I'm going to show you is 32. But yeah, I just did a modern granny square, just kept going round and round. The tutorial I followed only had like a few rounds, but once you've got, it's a 2-round repeat, so once you've seen the first few rounds, you can get it done pretty easily. Yeah, and something really easy, quick to do, and it's something I've really enjoyed working on. This one's going to be for my dad, and the other one's going to be for my mum. I'm going to wrap them up today, so that's why I'm showing you them, doing this clip now. So here's the blue one. The camera is not doing these blues justice. It's looking a bit like more duller and washed out on the camera, but they are gorgeous and vibrant and bright and beautiful. So this one's the James Zebra MC 32, and I just kept doing them until I didn't have enough yarn to do another round. And they are, quick math here, 56 inches squared basically, so from each side's 56 inches long basically, because they're square blankets, that's what I was trying to say. So yeah, these are Christmas gifts for my mum and dad. This one's for my mum, the other one's for my dad. So yeah, I'm gonna wrap them and I hope they like them. Next projects I was focused on were more blankets. One was for my sister and one was for my aunt and uncle. The one for my sister I was really excited to gift. At the end of September she saw me working on a blanket for our mum and dad, well, one for my mum, one for my dad, which you'll have seen. Yeah, she saw me working on them and she told me how much she'd love to have her own knitted or crocheted blanket at some point. I put her off by saying it's too close to Christmas, I am not going to get one done for you in time. Maybe I might be able to get one done for your birthday. And she just was like, yeah, okay, whenever you can get it done, that's fine, but I'd really love one at some point if you wouldn't mind. So when she opened it on Christmas morning, she was really surprised. She adored it. I had weighted down the box with books. I put it in a box so she wouldn't guess, and I weighted it down with books. Yeah, and she absolutely loved it. The next blanket I'd been working on was for my uncle and auntie. They were both your bog standard corner to corner. I'd done them 60 squares by 60 squares, and I did, I think it was around 3 rows of half double crochets on them. I just did it until I didn't have enough yarn to go around again for another row of half double crochets as a border. And I used a 6mm hook. The yarn I used was James C. Brett Marble Chunky. I've got my notes down here, that's why I'm looking. 30 Marble Chunky, shade 37 for my sisters and shade 77 for my aunts and uncles. The one for my aunt and uncle I've not finished. I will be putting a picture of them both, because it's my sister's one's been gifted, but also my aunt and uncle's one, it's big, so it's hard to show. So around 6 balls of this yarn's gone into each blanket, and they work out around 59 inches by 59 inches, so they're good size for sitting under and getting comfy under. And because they're a chunky weight blanket, they are lovely and warm. My auntie and uncle's blanket, as you'll have seen, is not finished, but it wasn't a big disaster that I didn't get finished, and I've sort of let myself off the hook with it a bit. My aunt and uncle did come up, but they came up for a very fleeting visit. They were up and went back down within 24 hours because they weren't feeling well, so they went home. But they are in the process of moving. I think they're supposed to move sometime in the spring. They live down south. They live not far from London. They live in Essex, so it's we you know, don't see them like every weekend or anything like that, but we do like talk to them often, and we do try and visit each other when we can. Yeah, so I didn't get it done, but we will be going down to help them with the move in the spring, so I could gift it then as a housewarming gift. We don't really swap presents with them anymore, just the way it is, isn't it? It's, you know, we send cards now, and we get like it's generally the younger kids in the family we give presents for, rather than, you know, getting every adult like presents and stuff like that. So it wasn't like they were missing out on a present, so I will either give them to it in the spring, give them the blanket in the spring when we go and visit them, or my sister has to go down to London for work and she'll be staying with them early this year, so if it's finished by then I could give it to her. So there's plenty of options for when I could give it to them, and yeah, there was no way I was going to get it done in the time they came up, because the time they came up pretty close after Christmas, and again they went back down pretty quickly, so they went back home a lot sooner, so it was unexpected, but they will get it when they get it. The other 3 blankets I gifted were really well loved. My dad's one, I can see it right now on the back of the sofa, and that'll get used when we get a bit chilly. My mum and my sister's ones, they've been using theirs loads. They all love their blankets. So yeah, they were a big success, the blankets. Well, the 3 I gifted anyway. So next we have some crochet amigurumi I made. So my nieces adore geckos, the little lizard type creatures. So of course, you know, being the auntie who can crochet amigurumis, I decided to make them both a gecko, because, you know, they're sisters, you can't give one without the other. So here are the 2 geckos I made. This is the first one, and then this is the second one. The pattern is really good, very creative, and I love how they have created that shaping on them. Next time I would maybe leave the bobbles off, just, you know, it's something extra, isn't it, that you've got to work on and that. But I think they look alright, they look cute, and I don't necessarily think they need the bumps, but again, really cute and absolutely lovely. The pattern is done using symbols, but not in the traditional format of how you see like a chart with symbols on, but it's a free pattern, and I found it very handy that they use the symbols rather than writing out like 2 double crochet in every stitch. It would be 2 and then the symbol for you know, crocheting every stitch. I found that a lot easier, as it made it a lot less wordy, and it was easy to just look at and see what you had to do in that line. You know, that line, you didn't have to really read too hard into it. And that, so I really loved it. I loved that in that sense. The legs are amazing. I do love how they turned out. They are fab. But I will not lie, they were quite challenging to do. The pattern, I just found it wasn't very clear on how to do the legs. But then again, I think no matter how, the way they are constructed, I think there's no really easy way of putting it, how they are constructed. But it does work. Once you sort of get it in your head how to do it, it does turn out really great, and they look fab. And again, once I figured out what the pattern was telling me to do, all the rest, the other 8, were simple to do. So I had no qualms with it on that point. It was just that initial going into it, reading it, was a bit complicated. So the pattern is Gecko Frecko by Blumenbaumt, I think it was, that's how you pronounce it. I will link the pattern down below in the description. It was on their Blogspot website, and it's in a few different languages as well, which is great. It's always amazing when designers are able to put patterns in different languages, and that's not always easy. So I used mostly different colours for the geckos. The yellow on them is Starcraft Special Decay and Citron, it's the same shade. But then the green and pink is Hayfield Bonus DK in the colourway Cupid, and Lime for the green. And Hayfield Bonus DK, Azure for the blue, and Deep Rose for the pink. So that's the geckos. I'm really glad to have got them done. I think it is a great pattern, and I'd hardly recommend it to anyone. I saw my nieces on Boxing Day, and I gifted them their geckos. They absolutely adored the geckos, and it was, yeah, it was lovely seeing them with the geckos. And yeah, it's something that they don't have anything similar of, so it's that nice sort of thing. It's quite different. It's something they don't have, and yeah, just they're very crochet and knit worthy girls. They appreciate everything I've ever made for them. They love everything I've ever made for them. So yeah, but the geckos went down a huge success. The jumpers I didn't get finished for Boxing Day, but I was not putting the pressure on myself to get them finished for Boxing Day. I want to try and get them finished as early as I can in this year, but I was not worrying about Boxing Day. So next we have the jumpers that I was talking about. This is my younger niece's one. Most of the ends are woven in. It is just that end down there where I sewed up that arm, and I think one down here, or did I weave that one in? No, I've woven that one in. So yeah, I just need to attach that onto there. This was the arm I attached inside out. Yeah, I just need to crochet it on. That shouldn't be too hard to do. When I say crocheting, I was just slip stitching them together. That was for me the best way I could attach them, where I felt like they were quite secure. I'm using the Serdar Kids Bright books. That's what this is, out like a little pamphlet book thing. And I'm using a 4mm needle. The colours are, the grey background is Paint Box in Misty Grey. The colours in the middle are Starcraft Special DK, except for the blue. The red's Matador, orange is Jaffa, the yellow is Citron, the green is Grass Green, and the purple is Proper Purple. The blue is a Home & Bargains yarn that I had in stash, and I thought I'd use that up rather than, because that was the best blue I had to go with it. That was the one most like the book, rather than buying a new one, a new Starcraft just to go with it. I thought I'd use that. As far as the second jumper goes, attached to another project here. I've got the front completely done. The back is nearly done. I've just got to, it's just, at the moment it's no shape, and you've just got to go until you reach a certain length. So from that little safety pin, I don't know if you can see it very well because it is silver on a grey, light grey yarn, I've got to wait until it gets a certain length from that, and then that's that done. But then it's not far off done. And as I said, I am really trying to make these a priority, so yeah, fingers crossed next couple of weeks I can get them done so they'll be able to enjoy them this year. So that's where I am up to with them. Yeah, the only reason I want to get them done this year if possible is because obviously they're sized. So this one will fit my younger niece for maybe about a year, and then the bigger one, it'll do my older niece and then my younger niece. That's not too bad, so it'll get that will get quite a good bit of wear out of it, but I just want to get it off to them as soon as they can so they've got more time in it before they grow out of it and they don't know they're getting them. I thought my priority for the girls was getting the geckos done rather than the jumpers, because let's face it, they're kids, they're going to be more excited over a toy than a piece of clothing. So that's why I did that. My final project that I worked on during Advent was my jumper. So I am using my Advent yarn for this. The brim that like is sort of rolling a bit, like where the neckband is, because I need to go and add a neckband at a later date. But yeah, this is what I've got so far. So last time you saw me, I think I was on the blue. I am now on to the purple, which is day 5. It's looking lovely at the moment. I really like it. Yeah, so it's gonna go like that, I think. Wait with 1 minute. Hang on. So it should go like that. It's just, it is bunched up on the cables here so it doesn't fall off. I do like my when I'm knitting on the needles, I do like it to be bunched up a little bit if possible, because that means I'm not gonna have to pull it round too much. It sort of naturally pulls itself round, I find. And I am using 3.5mm needles on my, yes, 3.5mm needles on this, and the yarn was my Advent calendar from My Yarny Corner. So yeah, really liking this. The pattern is the Sock Knitters Pullover by Tangletown Knits. It is a free pattern, and it's designed to, the pattern designer created it in mind of getting rid of, like, you know, your sock weight yarn, like leftovers, and that's what it was designed to use, which is really cool, because I always like to try and use every bit of yarn as possible. Even little yarn ends that I snip off, I have in a jar, and I use them to stuff amigurumis. I like to make every bit of it last, because quite often I do use acrylic yarns and they are plastic and, you know, not the best for the environment. So use as much of it as I can. That's what I say. So yeah, I like the fact that it's something that is designed to be used with a bit of that, and it is very size inclusive. So yeah, that's that one. And that is all the projects I worked on through Advent. I have been working on some other projects since Advent's finished, taking part in a few cows that have started in January. Got a few more things on the needles, so I will show you them all next week, and next week I will just carry on with the craft catch-ups as they normally are, where it just goes whatever I've been working on that week, you'll all see. So yeah, I hope you're all having a wonderful day. I hope you're all staying safe and taking care. Let me know, did you gift anyone any knits or crochets for Christmas, and what did they think? I hope they are getting enjoyed and treasured. Take care, stay safe, and I will speak to you all on Monday. Bye.